Okay, guys. There are okay. This is last, so we have to finish a lot of things. Okay, so let's do it fast. We'll see whatever duration it takes to finish. 2 hours. Okay. Okay. So this is I don't worry about reading this. So the story is a junior faculty in the department uh, discusses with the senior faculty about some issues they are having in the corridor. That, oh, with our work, this is happening. So the senior faculty gives some suggestions that, oh, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? And then when this junior faculty was going up for promotion, in that dossier, the senior faculty sees that actually this person published a paper and the senior faculty is one of the authors on the paper. So now what should this senior faculty do? The senior faculty didn't know about this paper that this junior faculty published with the senior faculty as a paper, as author. Okay. So the question is, some of the discussion topics are, do you think the senior faculty qualifies for co-authorship? Or in this case, is it a gift or courtesy authorship? Would you feel comfortable being listed as a co-author in Dev's position, like a senior author's position? What do you suppose the professional ethical standards regarding this, who qualifies as an author? Are there any other ways to acknowledge people who have helped without naming them as co-authors? Has the junior faculty done something unethical? Do you think it was an intentionally done out of generosity and naivety? Like, was it intentional or was it just naive and they didn't know that they are doing something unethical? What might be his possible motives for doing this? Do you think it's this person knows, the junior faculty, that when they'll go up for promotion, this senior faculty will be sitting in the committee and it's like a indirect bribing, gaining favor of that faculty? That angle is there. What you are saying is also right. Maybe the senior faculty really gave very good advice that the junior faculty found useful. But the biggest what is the biggest mistake junior faculty did here? Without asking. So the best thing they could have done was they could have sent the manuscript to the senior faculty and said, hey, I'm submitting this paper. Your discussion with you was very helpful for me to get this work done. I think I would love to list you as a co-author on the paper. Please let me know your suggestions or edits on the final manuscript. Now at least they gave that senior person a chance to say, I don't think so, I should be an author, or thank you, here are my edits. So I think that's the bigger mistake they did, that they didn't inform the senior faculty. See, but it can be seen otherwise also, right? If they discuss something, this senior faculty really gave some good ideas, and now he published the paper without including the senior faculty. Now senior faculty might have got upset that, hey, you published the paper with the idea I gave you and you didn't even list me as an author on the paper. It can be seen otherwise also. So I feel the best thing could have been, they could have said, hey, I think what we discussed that day really helped me in my work. I think you should be an author on the paper. Please look at the manuscript and let me know.
The second question, will you be comfortable being listed? If I answer yes, then I am being unethical or what? Like, as a senior?
So again, intellectual contribution, right? That junior faculty asked you something, maybe it was simple question and you answered, then maybe not. But if you really help that junior faculty with some question, then maybe they couldn't have done it without your feedback, without the senior faculty's feedback. So again, these are the questions which are a lot of times not right or wrong. It's just based on the situation, right? So, okay, let's move forward. Collaboration. See, collaborative work gets even more complicated. See, one lab people are fighting for authorships and all that. Now multiple labs are involved. So if Professor Hasija and I am collaborating, my people are doing some work, her people are doing some work. Now who is the first author? See, maybe my people are thinking, oh, I'm doing most of the work. Here Rashmi is fighting, no, I did most of the work. So now who did most of the work? Or our angles are different, right? We are doing bench top stuff, wet lab. They are doing computational. They are saying without us this paper was not possible. We are saying without us this paper was not possible. So now who is the author or first author or whatever? So, and I don't know the answer. Honestly, it depends on science and all that. You can talk. Sometimes it's easy, but sometimes it's complicated.
So what are your comments on like one is published in science, long list of
I really don't know. You know, okay, it depends. I mean, it's a lot, but honestly, I have never published in science, so what do I know? Uh, Also, how much people are talking, like how big the project was, how people intellectually contributed. Only corresponding author and first author can comment on that. You know, um, it's difficult. But collaborative research, I have worked with a lot of different people. I have found really helpful and supportive collaborators. Some collaborators are very aggressive. So you are at this level. Some are way too aggressive. Some are way too slow. So things don't work well then. You want to get things done, but for them, your work is the 10th on their priority list. Sometimes you are working at this speed, but a very aggressive author is saying, collaborator saying, why didn't you get it done? It should have been done yesterday. Now that's an issue. So finding collaborators who think like you, work like you, easy to work with, it's another important thing in our field to find that right collaborators. And a lot of time you can only do that after working with people and you realize, oh, I would love to work with these people again, or these people it was more challenging to work with. So, sorry.
project, right? Or Chivas, like, which are done very globally and on different populations.
Yeah.
There's people on that. So
I really don't know. See, that's why a lot of time NIH. So NIH wants you to write more multidisciplinary proposals with multiple investigators, but they want to see prior publication record because sometimes these collaborations don't work. Like you got big grant, but now you are not getting along with your collaborator, and that's bad for science. You know, sometimes collaborators are fighting, I should be the senior author. Somebody saying I should be the senior author. So it's not even the fight at a student level. Now the fight is happening at the PI level. So, you know, so just like students, PIs are also human beings. So, and if the paper is going to be a nature paper, science paper, oh, it was my idea, but it was not possible without my input. All that happen. I don't know. Some fail, some don't. There is conflicts and difficult, right? See, that's why a lot of time in PhD, there are not lot of, always there is a PhD committee for multiple reasons. One, they want to have a committee of researchers who can check if your work was at certain level and you deserve a PhD, right? Because if your PI says, oh yes, 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 you can get a PhD, but there should be a check of other people to say, no, this work is not good enough, or yes, this work is great to get a PhD, right? Second is, this committee can also help if your relationship with your PI is really bad. I mean, if your PI is asking you to do things that are not ethical, or try to get this data, or don't put this data, or if you're not getting along with your PI, these committees can mediate some of the issues also. So that's another goal of the committee. And of course, committee members can help in your research. You will go to them, oh, you are an expert in this area, help me with this. So, lot of the collaboration, whatever we talked at a lab level, collaboration level, it's like even more easy or difficult actually, because sometimes when you are in the lab, it's easy to fight with the people you know. When you are in one lab in India and there is another lab in US, maybe it's a good thing. There is no clash. You are neutral towards the people, that person. In the lab, you are more competitive with your lab mate. So in that angle, it can be good also. So just some things for you to think about. There is no right or wrong answers, Collaborative research, share your findings with colleagues, pay attention to what others are doing, report and discuss. So another thing about collaboration is have periodic meetings with your collaborators, right? We say that we will meet monthly on Zoom with each other, so that there is a good exchange of ideas. What worked, what didn't work, what if you were making some material, I was testing them, I'm telling you, hey, this was the challenge, the material was dissolving, it should not be dissolving. So you need to have those constant discussions with each other. And try to be as transparent with your collaborators. What is happening, what is changing. People who are working on the project, hey, the graduate student is going to graduate next month, we are putting this new graduate student on the project. All that needs to be discussed with the collaborator. Yes.
A collaboration, like one team like does something wrong, and after some time they self like वो खुद से ही उसको सही भी कर देते हैं sometime. So do they have to tell their collaborator also कि I have done this wrong, but फिर हमने कुछ change.
Okay, so the question is, if one collaborator made a mistake and now they rectified it and fixed the mistake, should they inform their collaborator about it? See, it will depend on the mistake, right? If we were making some surface, it was not releasing nitric oxide, we fixed it. I mean, if that was my portion of the study, I was working on it, I fixed it, that's fine. But if a mistake is a different type of mistake, that, hey, the material I sent you last time, I found out that my student had left it on the bench instead of putting it in the freezer. So I think all the data you got last time, we cannot use it because we sent you a wrong sample. Then that type of mistake should be told, because otherwise that data your collaborator won't know is bad data. So now that's your responsibility to tell your collaborator that. Okay. What was this? Share findings, make collaborations aware of important changes. Yeah. Conflict of interest, having a job, having a startup company. Conflict of interest, right? Or somebody from your family is working as a colleague or as a colleague, maybe less of a conflict, but as your subordinate or your boss, you just have to clearly tell that to the authorities that this person is my sister or my brother, and that's it. And now they will at least see that you are not giving them annual evaluation, right? You are not their supervisor. Yeah, this is like having a startup company. Not using university's resources for your own benefit. Disclose it to the university. Okay, here is another example. ABC was a chemist at FDA. As an FDA employee, he had access to databases with confidential information submitted by companies requesting FDA for drug approval. Now, this person found out that certain drug was getting approved, and they told their mom in China that why don't you buy stocks for this company? Because they knew inside information that the drug is going to get approved. So the mom bought it. So do you think this person did something wrong or not? They used their position to personally gain, and that's a very what you call insider trading, confidential information they used to benefit. So they got in trouble, they got fired, they had a big fine, and they were imprisoned. Okay. Mentoring relationship and responsibilities. Responsibilities of mentors: provide education and guidance, appropriate delegation, regular review, fair attribution, create opportunities for employment and funding. Responsibilities of mentees: respect mentor, loyalty for the group, strong commitment to science, careful performing experiments, accurately reporting, publishing. I mean, most of these things are very common sense, but you still need to do these things. Okay. Now, the next slide is, we'll go very fast so we can be done. Okay. I will tell you everything, and I might not go through the slides like they are, but I'll just tell you. So this is more FDA, patents, and that type of commercialization type of talk. So let's see. I'm just going to go a little fast so I can talk about. So the challenge with the translational research is a lot of the work is not reproducible. Inconsistent basic science, lack of, so a lot of time professors are doing great work. Some of them don't know they should file for patents. Now you publish the work, now it's out in the public, great idea, but it was not patented, so nobody wants to touch it now because nothing is protecting them. Second, even if you file for a patent, now they don't have a startup company. How does that work get licensed to the companies? Like, do companies, so they are coming to your university to look at all the patents, all the list? Is your university providing those lists? Then some universities have very stringent licensing requirements, and companies don't want to go to that level. That, oh, you need to give us this much percentage in your profit share, and the company does not want to do it. So the deal can fall apart. So many challenges to move these things forward, right? Sometimes I have heard, I don't know how true it is or not, companies can shelve the technology. So if, let's say, my company is making some hair growth product, and I found out there is a patent, and that can be problematic for me, and it can be a very big competitor for me. What if my company buys that patent but never does anything with it. I don't want to develop a new technology because my technology is making me enough profit, but I don't want anybody else to use that technology, so now I have a competition. I have heard this. I don't know it actually actively happens or not, but this is what I have heard. Maybe nobody will accept it, nobody will tell it.
Very frequently in medicine drugs.
Okay, yeah. So, um, another problem, funding. So, look at this. So, let me talk to you about my own situation, my experience. We have a great idea. We file for a patent. We have a startup company. We file for NIH small business grants. You get some money. You move your research forward. But then you need more money because the companies want to see more substantial data before they want to buy your technology or buy your company. And that's called valley of death. So a lot of companies, initially they can get some money, they can get some NIH, SBIR, STTR type of grants like here. Then you suddenly need extra cash, and getting that cash becomes very tricky. You can come to angel investors who are or venture capital who are putting money in your company, but now you are diluting your company. Earlier I was 100% owner of the company, and now you are coming and telling me, hey, I'll put $10 million in your company, but I need 40% of your company. That can be a challenge. Another challenge is a lot of time faculty who start companies, it's like your baby. It's your idea, your baby. You want to run it. You don't want anybody else to come and work on it. And I think that can be bad. Because, so in my next few slides, I'll show you my CEO of my company also. I am a scientist. I'm a researcher. I'm learning all these things, but I'm not a regulatory FDA knowledge person, a businessman. So I can try things, I might even succeed one day, but if it takes me 10 years to succeed, a proper CEO, a proper person with a business and FDA background can make you succeed in 3 years. So letting go your baby is, I think, another tricky problem we have, that people don't want to do that. Okay. Then we can go through this fast, some FDA background. The thing is, some other, some case that can happen if some medical device fails, we talked about this biomaterial crisis where a company, when they are buying a polymer from a company, they are holding responsible. But let's talk this. So class 1, class 2 and class 3 medical devices. So depending on the risk of the medical device, they can be listed as class 1, class 2, class 3. Class 1 is the easy one, less risky one, like Band-Aid or toothbrush. Those type of things are class 1. You don't need FDA approval, but you must register your device with FDA, so that if there is any recall or something goes wrong, FDA can quickly send the information for recalling that device. Second is moderate risk device, that is like blood pumps, catheters. They are risky, but probably they are not like going to, a patient might not die because of that. It's not that risky if it fails. For those type of devices, you need clearance from FDA. Okay, FDA clearance. And 510K form, I think, is 510K documentation is needed to get that class 2 device clearance. So you need to show safety of the device, it works, it's equivalent to a device that's already in market. So you need to show that safety and effectiveness of the device. But even more complicated device like orthopedic implants, heart valves, they need FDA approval and clinical trials, which is even more complicated process because you need to get the approval. So you can do a small clinical trial with some patients first, and then you do a bigger clinical trial with more patients, and then the device gets approved, and then every 2-3 years it gets a review of the device, that how is it performing, are there any adverse events. So it's just much more complicated. Pre-market approval is required, PMA, for class 3, but in simple language, class 1 is easy, class 2 is middle, and class 3 is even more complicated, right? No FDA approval required, 510K required, class 3 pre-market approval required. So class 3 is also medical device with drug or combination products are also class 3. Now, you can look at it more in detail, but it's basically telling you low risk, class 1, yes, okay. Class 2, medium risk, yes, so you have this 510K. But then main thing here is it depends on the complexity. But one thing is called de novo. De novo means there is no device in market similar to your device. Now you might have to show some clinical trials. Because there is nothing in the market that's similar to what you are doing. Now it's considered, okay, it's medium risk, but it's de novo. It's not class 3, but it's not class 2 also. So now that's another thing. Okay. We already see being in market, substantially equivalent to legally. Okay, 510K path is used if the device is class 2. Okay, catheter. When you have alter a class 3 device, which is already in market, and you're just doing little bit alteration, then 510K also be approved. This is like for class 2, I think it's maybe a form or something. I have not done it. We need to do it. That's why I have a CEO who understands these things. I think this is a path for class 2 device approvals. And maybe it's the set of forms and set of experiments you need to show the pathway to class 2 device clearance. So if you are making a device that is class 3 already in market, you are a little bit modifying it. So it was already a big clinical trial was done for class 3. You are just modifying it. You might be able to go with 510K, which is a more simpler process than class 3 process. You have to do biocompatibility testing, sterilization, show that the device is going to be safe and effective. That's what you need to show there. PMN is here, it came here, pre-market notification. So for class 2 devices, it's more you have to notify FDA. You need to get this 510K work done. You need to show that it's a safe device. And then you just need to notify FDA that I'm going to bring this device to market. But for class 3, you need a pre-market approval. And for that, you need to show some clinical trials, maybe small clinical trial, or get approval from FDA to even do small size clinical trial, where you're taking some patient population and testing it. Then if it worked well, you can increase the size of your clinical trial to, let's say, 100 people. That's phase 2, I think, of clinical trial. And then you go even bigger in size for the clinical trial. You can see here again, it's like showing what is required, what is not required for implant type of device, cytotoxicity is required, irritation test is required. It's just showing that type of table. Biocompatibility testing, does this device contact the body? If yes, is material same in marketed device? Yes. Same manufacturing process? Then do this. No, then do this. So it's just like a table that helps to decide what all tests need to be done. PMA class 3 devices, application in body, much more higher chance, risk of somebody getting badly injured or dying. All the compatibility tests are needed. Clinical trials are needed, just more complicated. 510K versus PMA, class 2 devices versus class 3 devices. Class 3 devices that are already there, but you are just giving it a little change, that can go here. Requires demonstration of effectiveness and biocompatibility. It requires that and clinical trials. It's called clearance, and that is called approved. Liability protection is getting approved in that. This does not require post-market surveillance. That one requires post-market surveillance. Faster, simpler, no panel review, no oversight. That's much more complicated. But FDA decides based on your situation, do you qualify for 510K or PMA or de novo? They help you decide where you qualify. Just same preclinical test, IRB approval for human testing, FDA approval, first in human trials, 4 phases of clinical research. Phase 1, small clinical trial, 20 to 100 patients, looking at the side effects and doses and safety and potential of any side effects. Clinicians are not trying to determine if treatment is effective at this point. So they are not checking if it's going to be effective or not. They are just making sure it's safe. Phase 2, 100 or little more than 100 people for testing. Now benefit of the product is also considered a little bit. Phase 3, now effectiveness and larger group is needed before it can start being sold to market. And then phase 4, you are looking at long-term effects and just it's in market now. Is it effective or not? That all is getting evaluated. For FDA, medical device advisory committees are there. These committees can have people with FDA, I think not from FDA, but different type of, because they give suggestion to FDA what to do. So they can have clinicians and orthopedicians, engineers, different type of people can be in that committee. And they give recommendation to FDA about that device. And then FDA can accept or reject it. But mostly if the committee is saying accept it, FDA mostly don't go against the committee. They include restriction of sales, device tracking. So FDA can do a lot of these things, right? Post approval, maybe they include restriction of sales. Maybe they'll say additional studies are required. We are approving it on this condition that you are going to test these things also. So the point is not easy to get FDA approval. It's a long process and it can be challenging money wise. All the tests getting done, all that can be very time consuming. There are more than 6. Okay. So, okay. I'm going fast. Don't worry, guys. We'll be done. Medical device list. Okay. Technology transfer. Let's talk technology transfer. Okay. Almost done. Almost done. So technology transfer is, as an inventor, we report our inventions to, so for filing, have any of you been involved with patents or filed for patents? Or so patents and publications are very different. Okay, so if you do something very novel, we have a technology transfer office or innovation gateway. We send them our findings and ask them, hey, is it something novel and can be filed? Sometimes it's not, and sometimes it seems very novel because on literature I'm not finding much about this. So then they do their work and check what is out there in market, and then they will say yes, we can file it. So they help us write the claims of a patent. Inventors on the patent are not necessarily all the co-authors. So if you designed a new device, you did bacteria study, you did tensile testing and cytotoxicity, you did animal study, you guys are not going to be inventors. Testing the standard tests or procedures does not qualify you for a inventor, right? You are just doing a bacteria study, you are just doing obvious, but you are not doing the intellectually designing that material. Another thing that happened was, I'm moving fast so that everybody can be calm and think that it's coming to an end. So another thing that happened is, it used to be first to invent. I think the rule was 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Meaning, if let's say you filed for something and you filed for something for patent, we will go and check, FDA can check your notebooks and see who discovered this or invented this first. You did it in September, she did it in August, she'll get it. But they changed it to first inventor to file. Now, it doesn't matter, you did it in August, she did it in October. If she filed before you, she gets it. Instead of me going and tracking down who did it first, whoever files first gets it.
Both at the same time. That's not
I mean, what is the chances you are doing both same work and filing on March 7th, 2025?
no, sir.
No. So earlier it was, let's say you filed today. She filed 6 months later. Same technology. Now you filed before her, but I'm not going to give it to you. I'm going to go and check, and who invented this first in their notebook gets it. But now it's you filed first, you get it. Even though she started doing it before you, whoever filed first gets it. Okay. Another thing is, if you show your data in public, in a conference, even in your university publicly, you cannot file for patents now or patent disclosures. But, and if you publish a manuscript or you showed your data and your technology, you cannot file. But US has a 1-year grace period rule. You can just file in US within a year of publicly disclosing that information. But you cannot file in Europe or India or Australia. I don't know what's India's rule, but you cannot file worldwide if you did that. So US allows for 1-year grace period. We have lost 1 or 2 patents like that. Students presented it in a conference and then we couldn't file it. Patent is for 20 years. So once you get a patent, you have 20 years. What else? Okay. It can take 4 to 5 years to get a patent. It's a very long process. So I have some patents that I applied in 2018. I'm still waiting for them. Okay. So it can be a long process to get it. But if in your PhD you file a patent, that's good, because people who are looking at your CV, they'll know that it's a very long process and you are not going to just get it. It will come after your PhD is done. It can cost like $10,000 to file a patent. And then there is issue fee, there is maintenance fee. If there are questions, you might have lawyer fees to answer those questions. So patents can become very, very, very expensive, you know. And then there is a maintenance fee. So after you get the patent, you have to keep paying to maintain the patent also. I don't know how much that is, but that was my next topic. So all these patents are owned by the university. You are an inventor, you 3-4 people are inventor on it, but the owner is the university. Also, there is this type of math, it changes university to university, that part of the, so let's say some big company buys or licenses your patent. First, this much money goes to inventors. Half of the money goes to, so mostly what happens is, approximately, there can be different math, but what happens is almost half of the money goes to the university, part of the money goes to your college, part of the money goes to your department, part of the money goes to the inventor, the PI's lab, let's say 5% or whatever, and almost 40 to 50% of the money gets divided in the inventors. Okay, so if we 4 or 5 are inventors, that 40-50% will get divided amongst us, but even then different inventors don't get equal amount. So when we were filing the patent, if she did most of the work, she might be 30% on the patent. You might be 10% on the patent. So that money that comes, it gets divided in that ratio, 30%, 10%, 5%. But you can, if your work was really amazing, you can make a lot of money also. So I know a friend, she has got 3-4 checks of $7,000 in last 1 year. Because her technology was licensed, it's being commercialized. Now, whatever the rule is, whatever university made the deal, whatever licensing fee they are paying or getting, her portion of the funds are $5, $10, $20,000 per year. It depends on the sale of the product, because what if the deal is 5% of the sale goes to the university? And now that university takes their cut, department takes their cut, college takes their cut, inventors get their cut. So your patent is for 20 years. No, but it depends. What if that company stops licensing? Or their sales go up or their sales go down, all that can happen. Oh, university. Yeah. So university is the owner of it. Even if you leave the university, my friend, she has left the university, but she's still an inventor on that work. So she's still getting the money. Okay, now really last portion of the talk. Any question from patents and everything? I mean, there is so much to even learn in all this, you know. Okay, now really last part. And it's an interesting part. You guys will benefit it. Industry or academia or MS or PhD. So I'm going to maybe generalize it, give just some tips and what helped me, and hopefully it'll help you guys. PhD versus masters. You know, let's just say, let's just put everything together. So you have to be ambitious to do a PhD. It's a long journey. I hope the people who have finished, you have finished your PhD? Not yet? Okay. it's rewarding one. Uh, I'm going to talk more from US. I don't know how the situation is in India. So my first example is growth. So I have seen when I finished my PhD, I went to the company I joined, people who had more experience than me, much more experience, they were making similar or less money than I was making salary wise. Okay. When they were important grant related meetings, I was attending the meeting that they were not. And clearly they knew more than me. I mean, they are doing it for a long time. And again, I'm not saying this is true every time. Maybe companies are different, maybe situations are different. So I cannot comment on that. But I'm just talking more general. Okay. Your growth prospects are more. See, again, India, I don't know. If you work for a company in science side, you are masters or undergrad with 5, 10, 20 years of experience, this new PhD comes and becomes your boss. You're frustrated, but it's too late for you to get a PhD, and now you know more than that person, but that person has a PhD degree. Again, it's not always true, but I'm just generalizing. Maybe there are situations when without a PhD you can still grow, and there definitely is. Another is, I recommend, if you are smart, intelligent, hardworking, finances are not that big of a problem, because finances is a big role also, then do think of PhD or MBA, something more than undergrad or masters. You know, in future, the growth will be better for you, growth prospects. Okay. But whatever it is, you have to focus for PhD. You know, you need to focus. So, time you feel it's a long time, but it's not. The time will go by so fast, and if you are not very focused, you might feel short of time towards the end. So you have to start being productive day one. Sometimes I feel if somebody comes with some industry background, it might be better. That Shubham, I think it's good he worked in industry, because when you come from a student, undergrad to PhD, your mindset is student mindset. But if you have worked in industry, you have to be productive every day. You are scared of getting fired or being productive to grow. And that mindset helps you to do a better PhD maybe. You feel every day needs to count. And I think that's what you guys need to think. Every day should count. And maybe more maturity, more professionalism. And they are treating it more as a job than I'm a student. Because see, it is a job. If you think in US, I don't know here, a graduate student makes around $30,000 per year. And their tuition fee that faculty is paying is around 20,000 and benefits. So a graduate student is approximately $50,000. Okay. So you are only seeing 30,000 in your hand, but somebody is paying 50,000 for you to get your PhD. It is more like a job, and it's not that you are a student and you think like a student about courses. You have to think bigger than that. That mindset needs to change. I feel if you have done your undergrad, you are smart, intelligent, hardworking, think about MBA or PhD rather than just masters. Unless you did your undergrad from not a very good university, now you want a better exposure in a better university with a better ranking. Now that's a different situation. You go do masters. or you are getting integrated undergrad and masters. So by spending one extra year, you are getting a master's degree. Then maybe that's okay. And again, these are just my personal, I'm not saying you have to agree, but these are just what my thoughts are a little bit. So I wrote graduate school, but forget it. It's just not graduate school. It's probably applicable to everything. For your postdoc also, for your undergrad also, for your graduate school also. The goal of any education is gaining independence. Okay? But you need to be a good team player also. Whenever somebody is hiring you, they want to see your leadership skills, they want to see your independence, but they also want to see that you are a good team player. There'll be times when you are leading effort, there'll be times when you are just helping as a team player. Some people are great leaders, but they can never listen and be a good team player. Some are just followers, they can never lead. So you need to try to develop both these skills, whichever stage of your career you are. If you didn't do it during your PhD, that's fine. Learn it in your first job or something. But these are good things to have. Clear goals with deadlines. Especially for PhD, it's 5 years, I'll do it. But you need to monitor your progress because nobody else is monitoring. Only you can be truthful to yourself. You can tell your mentor and colleagues, oh, I'm trying, this work is not, this is not working. Who are you fooling? In the end, you might still get your PhD, but let's say you are getting your PhD at this level, but if you would have worked hard, you could have got it at this level. So this is your chance, your exposure to just get most out of it. Don't waste your time. Try to read a lot of articles. That's the best way to get ideas. I mean, we are not so brilliant that I can just be sitting and ideas are coming. Read papers, more papers, and then ideas will start coming. Network, get to know people in your field. Again, it helps a lot. My first job after my PhD, I applied to so many positions and nothing was happening. But then I had a really good friend, Laura, who was, when I was doing my PhD, she was like in her 40s or 50s, and she came to my lab to get some work, to do some directed study under my mentor. So I got to know her, but then she left, we lost touch. One day I was deleting my old emails, I saw her name. I emailed her, Laura, how are you doing? She said, oh, Hitesh, let's meet for coffee. I met her on Wednesday. I said, oh, I'm trying for a job, I'm not finding anything, I just finishing my PhD in a month. She said, oh, why don't you send me your CV? I sent my CV to her on Wednesday. I got an interview on Friday and they offered me a job on Monday. So by Tuesday, I'm crying that, oh my God, I'm going to graduate. What will happen to me? And on next Monday, I had a job from nowhere. So it's networking, team player, learn to be detailed oriented. You have to learn to be not sloppy at things, just try to be as detailed oriented as possible. Learn to delegate. Lot of times, see, you have certain number of hours in a day, how much can you do? But if you learn how to delegate, that's what, see, now Professor Hasija, she's delegating. If she wants to do everything, it's not possible. But she's saying, okay, you do this, you do this, you do that, and you're managing that delegation properly. If you will try to do everything, you will never become a manager. And some people have really good people, good scientists, sometimes that's the weakness. They don't know how to delegate. They don't want to trust anybody what they are doing. They want to do everything yourself. I agree. You can probably do the job best way, but you can only do 2 things then. But if you delegate, you might get 10 things done. Now, you don't need to compromise on quality a lot, but you have to learn how to delegate also. If you want to be a leader one day, don't be afraid to make mistakes. This is the time to make mistakes. When somebody will hire you as a professional, now you're not allowed to make mistakes. that can lead to getting fired, and people are putting high hopes in you. So you need to learn how to delegate properly, how to be brave enough to make mistakes. Don't get your lab on fire, but if the mistakes are, oh, if I fail, what will happen? That's okay. Try. If you won't try, you are never going to find out, right? A simple example is if I put a dartboard here and I tell you, hey, you have 1 minute to throw a dart, to throw some darts in bullseye. Now, one person is going to come and just like wait for 30-40 seconds to like really aim it, try it. Oh my God, what if I miss it? What will happen? Other person comes without being crazy, still aiming, but throw 10 darts. There is a chance 1 or 2 will hit. But if you were just waiting for 1 dart and be like, oh, I cannot be wrong, I cannot make a mistake, you just throw 1 dart and okay, maybe it will work, maybe it won't work. Collaborate. I understand you guys have to publish 2 papers with only you and your mentor, but aim for 4 papers in your PhD. 2 are those type of papers, but 2 can be collaborative papers. Aim higher. And then persistence. PhD, you need a lot of persistence. There will be days when you'll feel, why did I do it? Why did I start it? It's miserable. Experiments are not working. I'm trying my best. Everybody faces that. You will face that too. Only way to success is keep trying. Change. Don't just keep making same mistakes, but you have to keep trying harder. Next, industry. So this applies to any job that you are going for. Networking is important. Flawless CV. Lot of time, hiring managers are not looking at your CV. Maybe they are telling their secretary that give me best 10 CVs. Okay. Maybe the secretaries are looking at science less, and maybe they are looking at even how well it's structured, how many mistakes there are. And if honestly, I see that too. Sometimes if there are too many mistakes in a CV, it's a competitive times. People have a lot of options who they want to hire. If you have so many mistakes in your CV, that tells me you are sloppy, you are not detailed oriented. I can find somebody else who is better and more detailed oriented. Read about industry and read about the job before you go for interview. Okay, because that shows that you are interested in them. You are very serious about that job. Right fit. Lot of time if you feel, hey, I'm not a right fit for this job. Similarly, hiring authority is also not finding the right fit. So you need to try a little bit, even if you are not the best fit. But you need to show examples that how you are a fast learner. You have to sell yourself that I can learn very fast. And passion and enthusiasm for your project. You have to show examples. See, sometimes people just answer yes and no. Do you do this? Yes. No. You need to give some good examples also. And always send a thank you note. See, somebody took time to interview you, you have to say thank you. And sometimes that thank you can help also. If you were really good or really bad, that thank you won't matter. But if the hiring people are really confused between 1 or 2 people, that thank you note might just this much play a role for you. Or if they have forgotten about you and they are considering a different person, and they'll be like, oh, that person was nice too, actually. Maybe we should talk about that person also. So that little thank you note can make a difference. Startup company. That's another option. Somebody asked me about startup company also earlier. So these 3 people have played a big role for me. Mike Pape, he has a PhD and MBA. I met him 15 years ago. He sold his, so there were 3 or 4 partners. If I remember the story right, I might be wrong. He used to work for Pfizer till 1998. Then he started his own company. and sold it for 1.2, 1.3 billion dollars in 2002 or 2003, after 4 or 5 years. Okay, so I met him, he became my good friend, and he really motivated me when I met him initially with his, I think it was around some drug. I don't remember, but I think if you search Esperion, Esperian, Esperion, I think so. It's that. Check. There will be a story on it, whatever it was. Okay. So I met him in 2010, I think. So I was very fascinated by, very down to earth person, very nice, but so good. You know, his success story really motivated me. Another person that motivated is Scott Merce. He's chairman of our board for my company now. And he started his company in 1992 after his PhD, immediately after his PhD. And they are doing very well, working with a lot of big companies. He has sold a lot of companies also. So he's doing really well with his products. And I worked with him for 2 or 3 years. Now he's helping us with our company. And finally, Ron Shibusky, he's my very good friend and he's the CEO of the company. With lot of experience with FDA, drug trials, business person, but scientist also, pharmacologist. So he understands the technology also, but he knows what this needs to do clinical trials. He needs how to raise money and contact venture capitals. So the point is, you need to surround yourself with people who can help you accomplish your goals, who can be uplifters for you. So, you know, I showed you my 3 mentors, Dr. Mao, Dr. Bartlett, Dr. Meyerhoff. And these are my people who motivated me, are helping me now from startup side of things. So no matter what level, what stage of your career you are, you need these mentors. I still have them. I have no shame to ask for help from them. I have mentors in my university also, senior faculty members who I can go to ask for advice anytime. So have that. Don't have so much arrogance that you cannot have mentors. You know everything. Just very few productivity tips. This is really cool. When I saw this first time, I found this first time, I was really fascinated. So his rank was 100 plus in 2004, 2005. And then he became number 3, and then he became number 1. Okay. His earnings went from $0.3 million to $14 million. That's fine. He used to win 49% matches, then he started winning 90% matches. The next thing that I'm going to do is the real thing. He used to only win 49% of his shots. He only started winning 52% of the shots, and his rank went from 100 plus to 3rd. And when his shot accuracy went to 55%, he went to number 1. Meaning, marginal improvements lead to stunning results. So, an example I give you is, maybe you all are 100 plus. You're working hard, doing good PhD, but guess what? Everybody else is working hard. You are working 8-10 hours a day. The whole world is working 8-10 hours a day. PhD students. Are you ready to work 11 or 12 hours a day? You think his 49% accuracy went to 52% accuracy because of his extra 2 hours that he put in every day. When people are getting tired and stopping, he's pushing himself to do a little bit more. So many times when we see successful people, we feel, oh, this person is so lucky. Okay, yes, luck is important. Without luck, you cannot do anything. But we didn't see 10 years, 15 years when they were really working hard. Right? Behind the scene, they were not popular, they were not famous, but they were working really hard. And are you ready to see? We all want to be number one, but are you ready to put that extra accuracy, extra time when others are stopping to work and you continue to go for that extra 1 hour? Another example I give students is, so you work 8 hours a day, let's say 5 days a week. Can you work 2 hours a day extra every day? In 5 days, you will work 10 hours extra. So actually, you are working 1 extra day per week, right? That means 4 extra days, so 52 extra days in a year. That means 2 months extra in a year. So in a 5-year PhD, you are working whole year extra. How can you not succeed if you are ready to work that extra? Others did a 5-year PhD, you did a 6-year worth of work in 5-year PhD. And applies to anything. Like your PhD is done, even now in your postdoc, this can apply. So I think I really like this slide because sometimes just his accuracy from 49% to 52% of shots made him number 100 to number 3. When we are students, the only thing we can think of is, when will I start making money? You know, I don't want to be poor. I want to start making money. And that's fine. I thought like that. You all thought like that. That's all great. But I think a lot of times we forget a lot of other things that will start mattering to you one day. It might be too late. And you know, all these things, I got some of these things from Robin Sharma. I read his books. So inner self, if you are not at peace, you can be the richest person, it doesn't matter. If you do not have health, you can be most successful scientist, it doesn't matter. If you don't have supportive family, you don't have anybody to share your happiness with. If you don't have a good career, you might not be happy also. So of course, research, science, work, that's all important. Circle of genius. So Robin Sharma says, if you're the smartest person in your group, you need to change your group, right? Because whatever I was doing, not that I know a lot, because I was surrounded by a lot of overachievers. My friends, my mentors, my supporters, they were doing so well that I had to do well with their mentorship or their association. You need money also. You need finances. See, you should not be materialistic. That's fine. But it's okay to be a little bit materialistic also. You can buy nice things for yourself and enjoy life also, right? And then also one day, or maybe you already realize it, what is your influence and impact? Everybody's running after money. Everybody's trying to make money, want to get rich, and that's fine. Be materialistic, run for that. But do you have some big impact after you are done? Or you'll feel happy when you retire that I did this well. So don't let that vision go away. Okay. And this is definitely last slide. So find great mentor, not a great mentor, great mentors, right? Whatever type of mentors you need, find good mentors. Never burn any bridge. Sometimes things are not working well, you don't like somebody, but you never know what their situation was. You didn't like something about them, they didn't like something about you. You never know what their situation was. Maybe you would have done much worse in that. And you never know who will help you in future. Plan each day. So many times it has happened, I'm busy, whole week gone. But when I sit at the end of the week and try to write down, what did I do? I was so busy last week. And I feel, oh my goodness, I didn't do anything substantial, but I was busy every day. So if you plan a day, there is a good chance you won't waste so much time. Whenever I wake up early, I feel I'm more productive. But again, that's a personal choice. I don't want to say that you guys need to do it. I struggle a lot. I some lot of times I cannot wake up early, but if you can wake up early, I think it will help you. Lot of successful people are early risers. Okay, uh, no gossip, and I don't want to be like a advertisement for Robin Sharma, but he has a really good book, 5 a.m. Club. So look at that book. I think it's a very well read and sold book. So work smarter. Think. I have worked with students, super hardworking students, but they are not working smart. You know, okay, some are lazy, they don't work a lot, that's one thing. But I really feel bad with the ones who work very hard, ready to put 10 hours, 12 hours, but they are not working smart. For your experiments, do good literature search before you start a new study. Lot of time people start working and then 2 months later, 3 months later, 4 months later, they realize something that they should have realized before they started the study. Practice every single day. So I won't tell that story, it'll get longer. Okay, keep trying. Successful people have failed more times than an average person. Okay, if you won't try, you won't succeed 100%. If you try, there is a chance you will succeed. Don't be shy and ask for help. In US, I have seen people are very helpful, but people are very busy. So if you won't ask for help, people don't have time to come to you and say, what do you need? How can I help you? But if you say, I need your help, most people are ready to help. And be appreciative and thankful. The more humble you are, the more thankful to you are to everybody. See, we had a successful Gyan program because of everyone. Staff, students, faculty, leadership of DTU, leadership of Gyan program. If you think, oh, I am the reason this program is successful, it's no way possible. Right? If they are recording video, if their computer is not working, their camera is not working, we are stuck. Right? If the food is not there in time, we are stuck. Our lunch break becomes 2 hour long. So everything is team effort. You just have to appreciate everybody. Everybody is doing their duty. The more you appreciate that, the more you are thankful, the more people want to help you and help in your success. And this is the last slide, seriously. So with that, thank you guys. I had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun. Keep in touch. And please, if you have questions, we can talk.
So much, sir, for that presentation. This was the officially last lecture of the Gyan course. Now, with this, we'll start our valedictory ceremony. So I request sir and ma'am to please join there for the valedictory ceremony.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
With this, we conclude our 10-day Gyan course with Dr. Hitesh Handa. And I'm very grateful to him for having spent so much time with us and giving so much information, which I'm sure will benefit all our students and our faculty members in their research, as well as the credits that you have earned. They will also give you a lot of benefit later on. And of course, he's there, and he's also an alumnus of DTU. So that way, he's also assured us of a longer collaboration with our university, and we'll keep inviting you and having more interactions with you. So with this, can I please call upon all the participants for receiving the certificates? Meenakshi Dubey, Akash Jain, Shubham Kumar Srivastava, Siddharth Sharma, Kritika Sharma, Nakul Tanwar, Lakshmi Singh. Kushi Yadav. Harshita Singh. Neha Kumari. Anuradha. That's it?
No, no, we have more.
Diksha Tripathi. Milti Pal. Harshita Singh. Paridhi. Dr. Kriti Bhandari. Dr. Prakash Chandra. Many congratulations to all the participants.